Hadzabe of northern Tanzania. Survival often depends on noticing the smallest details. A single misread footprint can lead hunters miles away from their prey, while an unfamiliar rustle in the brush may signal that a dangerous predator is close. In this unforgiving landscape, experience is more than a skill. It's the difference between success and failure. Across the dry plains surrounding Lake Eyasi, where water is hidden beneath the sand and food is never certain, the Hadzabe venture into the wilderness each day armed with little more than bows, arrows, hunting dogs, and ancestral knowledge refined over thousands of years. Every expedition becomes a test of patience, instinct, and endurance as they navigate a world filled with hidden threats and the constant challenge of survival. For the Hadzabe, no hunting tool is more essential than the bow and arrow. Long before sunrise breaks over the horizon and the camp begins to stir, the hunters are already preparing for the day ahead in a land where every hunt can determine whether a family eats. Success often depends on the reliability of the weapons they carry. Before setting out, each hunter carefully examines his bowstring, straightens his arrows, and checks the tips for even the slightest flaw. A single mistake or damaged arrow can mean losing the rare chance to bring home food. To the Hadzabe, the bow and arrow are far more than simple weapons. They embody generations of knowledge, craftsmanship, and traditions that have been preserved and passed down for thousands of years. The hunters are accompanied by loyal dogs that know every corner of the landscape. With their sharp senses, they can pick up faint scents, follow hidden trails, and locate animals concealed deep within the brush. Working together, the Hadzabe and their dogs form a highly effective team, an advantage that has helped them survive for generations in the vast wilderness of northern Tanzania. As the first rays of sunlight filter through the trees, the group leaves camp and moves into the open woodland, where troops of monkeys search the branches for fruit, tender leaves, and insects. Yet the hunt is rarely a matter of simply chasing animals. Most of the day is spent reading tracks, studying the landscape, and patiently waiting for the right opportunity to appear. Rather than rushing through the bush in search of prey, the hunters move with deliberate caution, pausing often to listen to the sounds drifting from the treetops and study every detail around them. A swaying branch, freshly fallen fruit, or the distant call of a monkey can all reveal the presence of a nearby troop. In this landscape, even the smallest sign can point the way to a successful hunt. As they close in on a troop of monkeys, the hunters rarely exchange words. Instead, they rely on eye contact, subtle hand signals, and soft clicks to coordinate their movements. Silence is essential when stalking such agile and vigilant animals, allowing the group to slip through the bush without drawing attention. Yet the monkey's calls can reveal more than the location of prey. A sudden burst is sharp. Frantic cries may signal that a far more dangerous creature is lurking nearby. The Hadzabe know how to recognize the presence of a leopard long before they see it. Fresh tracks in the dust, claw marks carved into tree trunks, and the uneasy behavior of monkeys all serve as warnings that a predator is close. At the first sign of danger, the hunters slow their pace, scan the surrounding vegetation, and adjust their route with extreme caution. Perfectly camouflaged against the landscape, leopards can disappear into the brush and strike with astonishing speed when threatened. For the Hadzabe, the purpose of every journey is survival, not conflict. Avoiding unnecessary danger is just as important as finding prey. which is why every step and every decision must be made with care. In the wilderness, a single mistake can have serious consequences, so caution and patience guide every movement. Hunting is only one part how the Hadzabe sustain themselves. As they travel across the landscape, they search for edible roots and wild fruit, while remaining alert for the faint buzzing of bees hidden inside hollow trees or deep cracks in the rocks. When they discover a hive, they gather dry branches and create smoke to calm the swarm before carefully collecting the honey by hand or with simple tools. For the Hadzabe, the wilderness provides many sources of food, but obtaining them requires knowledge, skill, and a deep understanding of the land. After hours of walking beneath the scorching sun, sweet honey becomes more than just a treat. It is a vital source of energy that helps the hunters recover and continue their journey across the harsh landscape. Rich in nutrients and easy to carry, it has sustained the Hadzabe for generations, providing strength during long days in the wilderness. As evening approaches and the golden light begins to fade, the group makes its way back to camp with whatever the day has provided. Their harvest may include wild birds, small game, monkey meat, honey roots, or fresh fruit gathered along the way, although each day's success is never guaranteed. Every return to camp reflects the skill, endurance, and deep knowledge that have allowed the Hadzabe to survive in one of Africa's most demanding environments for thousands of years. For the Hadzabe, a successful hunt is not defined by individual achievement or by the amount of food one person brings back. True success lies in ensuring that everyone in the community has something to eat. The day's harvest is shared among hunters, children, elders, and those who stay behind at camp, reflecting a tradition of cooperation that has sustained their people for countless generations. As evening settles over the camp, the food is prepared using techniques that have changed little over time. Meat is laid over glowing coals or skewered on branches and slowly rotated above the fire until it is evenly cooked. With few seasonings, no modern kitchens, and little opportunity to preserve food for long periods, the Hadzabe depend on the resources they gather each day. In this way of life, survival is built not on abundance, but on knowledge, simplicity, and the willingness to share. As evening settles over the camp, the food is prepared using techniques that have changed little over time. Meat is laid over glowing coals or skewered on branches and slowly rotated above the fire until it is evenly cooked. With few seasonings, no modern kitchens, and little opportunity to preserve food for long periods, the Hadzabe depend on the resources they gather each day. In this way of life, survival is built not on abundance, but on knowledge, simplicity, and a willingness to share. Hours later, a new day begins on the arid savanna of northern Tanzania. Dawn slowly spreads across the horizon as the first rays of sunlight pierce the thorny acacia trees, casting a golden glow over the red, dusty landscape. In the cool morning air, the wilderness awakens once again, signaling the start of another journey into an unforgiving land where survival depends on skill, patience, and experience. Long before the sun rose above the horizon, the small Hadzabe camp was already awake. Their lives are not governed by clocks or schedules, but by instincts shaped through countless generations. As the darkness slowly gave way to morning light, the community prepared to set out once again, ready to face another day in a landscape where survival depends on experience, patience, and an intimate understanding of the natural world. For the Hadzabe, hunting is not a test of physical strength alone. Success depends on patience, experience, and the ability to interpret the countless clues hidden within the landscape. A faint footprint in the dust, a broken branch, or the distant call of an animal can reveal far more than brute force ever could. In the wilderness, survival belongs to those who know how to listen to nature and understand its signs. Their first destination was a stretch of land where fresh wild boar tracks had been discovered the night before. The cool morning sand still held the clear impressions of the animals' hooves. One of the hunters crouched beside the trail, brushing his fingers across the ground as he studied the direction and depth of the tracks before quietly signaling for the group to continue. From that moment on, every step demanded caution. The hunters moved slowly through the brush, carefully avoiding dry branches and loose leaves that could betray their presence. Even the slightest change in the wind was impossible to ignore. If their scent reached the boars first, the animals would vanish into the wilderness long before the hunters ever laid eyes on them. Before long, the hunting dogs began to show signs of excitement. Rather than rushing forward recklessly, they quietly shifted course and moved with a new sense of purpose, alerting the hunters that a herd of wild boars was somewhere nearby. Recognizing the signal, the men immediately adjusted their positions and spread out in a wide arc through the brush. Each hunter kept a careful distance from the others, forming a loose circle designed to cut off every possible escape route. In the wilderness, coordination and timing are often far more important than speed. An arrow flew silently through the morning air, striking its target before disappearing into the dense brush. Startled, the wild boar bolted into the thicket, but its pace gradually slowed as the hunters followed at a measured distance. Once they were certain the animal could no longer escape, they approached carefully and ended its suffering as quickly and humanely as possible. There were no celebrations or cries of victory. Instead, the hunters paused in silence, acknowledging the life that had been taken to sustain their own. For the Hadzabe, hunting is not a triumph over nature, but a necessary part of survival, one that is approached with respect and a deep understanding of the delicate balance between life and death. Wild boars, however, are far from the most dangerous animals that roam the savanna. On some journeys, the hunters come across the unmistakable tracks of a lion pressed into the soft earth. The Hadzabe know better than most that a lion is no ordinary creature. As one of Africa's apex predators, it possesses immense strength, remarkable speed, and instincts that demand caution and respect from anyone who crosses its path.